Okay, let's dive right in. If you're running a business in the UAE, things have definitely changed. There's a new corporate tax in town, and today we're going to cut through all the jargon and give you a simple, clear guide on what this really means for your small business. So, this is the big one, isn't it? The question on every business owner's mind. For so long, the UAE has been known as this tax-free hub, but that era is officially over. So let's get straight to it and figure out if your business actually has a tax bill to worry about. First up, let's just make sure we're all on the same page. What even is corporate tax? It is not a tax on every dirham that comes into your business. It's a tax on your net profit. You know, the money that's left over after you've paid all your expenses. Getting this one difference is absolutely key for everything else we're about to talk about. And that brings us to our first section, a new tax era. And believe me, that subtitle, "The landscape has changed forever," that's not an exaggeration. The fundamental way of doing business here in the Emirates has been completely rewritten. And, you know, this all happened so fast. Just think, before 2023, it was pretty much a tax-free playground for businesses. Then, boom, June 1st, 2023, the new law kicks in. And now, today, every single one of us has to figure out how to navigate these new rules. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Section 2, the 9% standard rule. This is the big number you've probably seen in the headlines. Let's break down what it actually means for you. 9%. This number is at the very heart of the new law. It's the standard rate that businesses in the UAE are now looking at. But, and this is a big but, before you start doing the math on your total income, there is a very important threshold you need to know about first. And here it is, 375,000 dirhams. That 9% rate, it only applies to profits above this number. So let's say your business makes 400,000 dirhams in profit for the year. You don't pay tax on the whole amount. Nope. You only pay 9% on that extra 25,000 that went over the line. And if your profit is below 375,000, your tax rate is 0. Simple as that. So who does this apply to? Well, the law was written to be pretty wide-reaching. We're talking mainland companies, we're talking about most businesses in the free zones, and yeah, even foreign companies that have a permanent base here. The main takeaway? You should probably assume this includes you. Okay, so if the law basically covers everybody, does that mean every single business is now stuck with a 9% tax bill? Well, thankfully, the answer is a big fat no. And this is where we get to the really good news, especially for small businesses. Which brings us to Section 3. Relief for small businesses. Now, you're going to want to lean in for this part because this is the crucial exception. It is the single most important piece of this new law for all the startups, the solopreneurs, and the small companies out there. The magic number here is 3 million dirhams. But wait, notice the word. This is about your annual revenue. That's your top-line sales, all the money that comes in the door, not your profit. If your total revenue is under this 3 million mark, you can qualify to have your tax bill completely wiped out, down to 0. This is where almost everybody gets tripped up, so let's lock this in right now. The standard 9% tax rule, that's all about your profit going over 375,000 dirhams. But this small business relief, that's about your revenue staying under 3 million. They are two totally different things, and knowing which one matters to your business is everything. All right, Section 4. The rules of relief. Because before we all start celebrating paying 0 tax, you have to understand this is not an automatic free pass. Just like the slide says, you've got to follow the rules to get the benefit. So, what are these rules? Well, first, the obvious one. Your revenue has to be under that 3 million dirham ceiling. Second, and please do not forget this, you have to actively choose this relief when you file your taxes. It is not automatic. You have to check the box and ask for it. And finally, just be aware that right now this relief is confirmed for tax periods up until the end of 2026. This brings us to what might be the single most important sentence in this entire explainer. Let's just let it sink in for a second. Compliance is mandatory, even when payment is not. It means that even if you owe 0 dirhams in tax, you are still legally required to go through the process. So what does that actually look like for you? It's pretty simple. If you qualify for small business relief, you still have actions you have to take. You must register for corporate tax, you must file a tax return, and you must elect for the relief on that return. You do those 3 things, and your final tax bill will be 0. Okay, you get it. You know the rules. So let's move into our final section, your compliance checklist.
Let's turn all this information into a dead simple, actionable list to make sure you stay on the right side of the law. These are the 3 non-negotiables. You have to burn these into your brain. Step 1, get your business registered with the Federal Tax Authority, or FTA. Step 2, you have to file a corporate tax return every single year, even if you own nothing. And step 3, if you're eligible, you have to actively choose small business relief on that return. Miss any one of these steps, and you're in trouble. And what's the deadline? You've got 9 months. From the day your company's financial year officially ends, the clock starts ticking. You have exactly 9 months to get your tax return filed. It might sound like a long time, but trust me, that deadline will sneak up on you, so get it in your calendar now. And one last thing, a final crucial warning. Please do not treat any of this as optional. The government has put some pretty serious financial penalties in place if you fail to register or file on time. Just remember that core message. Even if you owe 0, ignoring the paperwork will absolutely cost you money. So, there you have it. You know the rules, you know about the relief, and you've got your compliance checklist. But I want to leave you with one final, bigger question to think about. Is your business actually structured to get the most benefit from this new tax world? Because just being compliant, that's the starting line. The real opportunity is in planning for what comes next.